was one time a guy, a Haredi guy, he was walking around. The shul that he was going to happened to be right at the end of where the Eruv was. So the Eruv, the line of the Eruv, was right there. And everyone knew where the Eruv was. On Shabbat, you're not allowed to take things in and out of the Eruv. But as the test would be, his hat flew off of his head and fell right outside of the line of the Eruv. According to Halacha, he's not allowed to touch it. It's outside of the Eruv. It stays there. On the floor, whatever happens to it, he cannot touch it. It could burn up, it could stay there, someone could take it. He has no permission whatsoever to do anything with it. Why? It's outside of the Eruv. But what does he do? Quickly, before anyone sees, he grabs it, puts it back on. So the rabbi saw. He says, let me ask you a question. You grabbed it really fast. You knew that there's a chance that one of us is going to see you. Hundreds of people coming to Beit Knesset right now. You're not the only one. You're not alone. It's not night. Why'd you grab it so fast? Did you think for a second that maybe God's not going to see it? Did you think for a second that if you do it really fast, maybe God's not going to care? Like he cares if you do it fast or slow? Like if you do it really fast, it's no big deal. Like if you just light the cigarette really quickly, one puff, throw it out, and it's finished, no big deal on Shabbat. If you cheat on your wife for 2 seconds, 1, 2, 3, you finish, you go back to your wife, honey, I love you. That's okay? If you walk around not modest for 5 minutes, not the whole day, 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, you decide to walk naked. It's okay? It's only 5 minutes, 24 hours in a day. It's okay? You do the percentage, it's a very small percentage. What, God's not going to care? This is what this pasuk is all about. This pasuk is telling us, is there such an existence, such a thought, that there's such a thing that could happen in this world without me seeing it? And then he continues, the word of Hashem, do I not fill the heaven and the earth, the word of Hashem? In so many words, he's telling us, if there's such a thing of me not seeing it, there's also such a thing of me not being there. And that cannot be. Because I fill the whole world. When Jews cry for money, because they don't have enough parnasah, or they want more than what they really need, Hashem says, Li ha-kesef v'li ha-za'av ne'um Hashem tzevaot. God says, mine is the money, mine is the gold. Hashem, master of legions. What does it mean, mine is the money, mine is the gold? It's all mine. The money that's in your pocket's mine. In the bank, it's mine. The IRA is mine. The stock market is mine. The money you want is mine. Everything is mine. You want me to give you some? Ask nicely. Give me a reason. Do you want more money so you could buy a fancier car so you could be a Mechalel Shabbat? Or do you want more money so you give more tzedakah so you could publicize my Torah? What do you need the money for? And Rabbi Akiva is already telling us, V'hareshut netuna. The freedom of choice is given. Despite the fact that Hashem knows that sometimes He's going to give us much, and we're going to do things against Him, He still gives us the ability to choose. He gives us the ability to choose. To such an extent that Chazal says, when a person decides on something, Hashem helps him regardless of what the choice is. Whatever the choice is. If he wants to be holy, Hashem will help him become holy. In Parashat Kedoshim, Hashem says, be holy because I am holy. So if you want to be holy, Hashem will help you. You want to be a Rasha? Hashem will help you too. Whatever you want. You have free choice. But just know the beginning. I know. I know it's going to happen. Whatever you're going to do, I know. Why is it important to know that Hashem knows? Because the next part of the Mishnah says, the world is judged with goodness. Meaning, a few things. First and foremost, when you make the mistakes, whether it's violating Shabbat, or any of the other sins that are in the Torah, know that when Hashem says goodness here, or Rabbi Akiva says goodness, Meiri says it means tshuva. Hashem created the world with a concept of tshuva. And the reason why is because he realized that without tshuva, the world cannot exist. The world cannot survive without tshuva. So, the first thing that we learned from Hashem in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 13, as Hashem says, gives us one of the key mitzvot, which is to fear Him. Fear Hashem. Interesting, I learned from one of my students, he says, look, 6:13, chapter 6, verse 13. Meaning, you can't fulfill the 613 commandments without fearing Hashem. It's a nice chidush. So here Hashem tells us, one of the major mitzvot, one of the 613 mitzvot is for you to fear me. It's a very important mitzvah to such an extent that without fearing Hashem, you cannot connect to Him. So, for all of those that believe that you can connect to Hashem through love, Chazal explains to us that fearing Hashem without loving Him is an incomplete connection. It's a connection nonetheless, but it's incomplete. Ideally, you want to be like Moshe Rabbeinu. Ideally, you want to be like Aaron HaKohen, David HaMelech, Avraham Avinu. They feared Hashem and they loved Him. Ideally. So if you only fear Him, it's not enough. But it's a connection. Loving Hashem without fear is no connection at all. It's zero. Why? It's impossible to love Him without fearing Him. Because in order to love someone, you have to know what it is and who it is. Once you know what and who Hashem is, immediately you're scared. He's in control of all of the cells in your body. He's in control of your health. He's in control of your parnasah. He's in control of your kids. He's in control of everything. The only thing He's not in control over is whether you fear Him or not. That's your free choice. So whenever anyone asks you, what is free choice? Do I really have free choice? The Torah says yes. You have one single free choice. Whether you're going to fear God or not. That's your only free choice. Everything else has nothing to do with you. Everything else has nothing to do with you. You say, wait, whether I decide to drive on Shabbat, that's my choice. Yes, exactly. That has to do with fearing God or not. If you drive on Shabbat, you don't fear God. If you don't drive on Shabbat, you fear God. Yeah, but what about if I decide to choose one profession or another? That also has to do with free choice. That profession can be a sniper for the mob, or you could be a sniper for the army. You can either kill people for money, or you can protect people. One has no fear, the other one has fear. Even though they're both technically the same job as far as the actual action. One guy can have hunger for blood and be a surgeon. Some people are created with some type of desire to see blood. It says in the Zohar Kadosh, they have a desire to see blood. Me, on the other hand, I see blood, I cringe. So I have the opposite. Doesn't help me. But some people see blood for whatever, however it makes them feel, it satisfies them to some extent. So with that inclination that Hashem put in you, you could decide to be a surgeon, save people's lives. Or you could be a butcher, give people kosher food. Or you could be a murderer. Hashem Yachem. All three do the same thing. But two show fear of God, one doesn't. Your only free choice is whether you fear God or not. To love Him without fearing Him is impossible. Because as soon as you understand that He's in control of all things in your life, the hair on your head, the car you drive, the parnasah you get, the parnasah you end up not getting, the contracts, the deals, the clients, the children, the husband, the wife, all of those things is decided by Him. And He already knew it before you even realize it exists. And this is what Rabbi Akiva is first telling us in the first part of the Mishnah, is that know this, everything that you're going to do, Hashem already knows. He already knows before you're going to do it.